everybody's good. I'm doing great. Tired as a mug. Been rode hard and put up wet past week. That's all right. I'm being successful at it. And wanted to bring you an update. I know I left y'all a little bit hanging on the last video. Some of you. Many of you know, but like I told you in the last video, I went company, and I call it company light because, I'm working with Junior Honduras. I'm working on his truck, and he's been absolutely amazing. He's been awesome. He's helped me so much. He's been there. He's answered all my questions. Picks up the phone when I call him. You know, he's been great. So really blessed to work with him, and he and I seem to have hit it off really well. So I'm pretty stoked about that. It has been a journey. It's really been a journey this past week and a half now. Man, so much to really tell you, so much to really share. I don't even know where to begin. I started in Springfield, went to somewhere in Illinois, dropped off, went to a Tyson plant in Illinois, took that to Greensburg, Pennsylvania, went to Erie, Pennsylvania, took a load down to West Virginia. I think it was West Virginia. No, took a load down to Tennessee. Picked up a load in Tennessee, took that down to West Virginia, and then picked up a load from Virginia, brought it up to Indiana, and all of that in my first week. Okay, now man, I don't even know where to begin. Longhaul Gypsy, she's been, super helpful. Geez, I feel like I spend hours on the phone with her. She's been great. Junior Honduras, he's been outstanding. Trying not to blow up his phone too much, but he's there for me. I've called him at some pretty crazy hours, and he picks up. So that's great. And he's really been awesome. He's been great to work with, and he's been a great help. Obi-Wan, my trainer, he's been on the horn with me several times, being sure I'm checked and everything's good. I have run my clock down. There's been some serious 14-hour days. I have really been putting in the miles and the hours, and I'm sure I look like it because these past 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, whatever. This trip from Virginia, did a trip from Smithfield meat packing plant to Indiana, and by that point I had some terrible recaps. Recaps are hours that kind of come back to you in a daily fashion, right? So depending on how you're running your clock and how you're running, will determine whether or not you're getting good recaps, hence 8, 9 hours, you know, a day, 7s, you know, but here I was, I mean, like, when I dropped off the load, before I went to Smithfield, I had like 5 hours on my clock, on my 70. Okay. That means that week I had worked 65 hours. Alright? Which, no big deal. You know, nothing I haven't done before. And it's not, you know, it's not running around in a restaurant or laying block or doing roofing or you know, putting up with a bunch of people's BS, you know, at some sort of customer service venue, you know, dealing with, you know, upper management, stupid stuff, HR stupid stuff, you know. So it's been great, you know. So I had like 5 hours left on my clock, and then getting to Smithfield was like, I was dropping at a Walmart distribution center somewhere. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. And then that was like, I think I got done with that like around 8 o'clock at night, I want to say. And then I had to drive 3 hours down to Smithfield. You know, I had to drive through Baltimore and it was weekend. It was a weekend. I think that was Saturday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. Don't hold that against me. It's been running, you know. I stayed the night there. I'll tell you right now, the smell at a meatpacking plant, that's a special kind of, you know, yeah, that's a special kind of stench. But hey, you know, I'm in my truck. I'm good. You know. But then I was only getting like a 5 back on my recaps, right? So I had 7, and then I just burned 3. No, I had 5, burned 3. No, I did have 7. I had 7, and then burned 3, right? That left me with 4 and change, and then had 5 and change come at midnight. So that left me with like a 10-hour drive, right? So I stay the night at Smithfield, drop my trailer off, do all that. Then in the morning, I go pick up my trailer and I hightail it out of there. Like, I run as hard as I can within the 10 hours I had, you know. And the goal was, and Junior was great in trying to help me figure out how I'm going to do this run, you know, because I have to drive 900 miles, right? And I've got 7 hours, 5 hours, and then like 3.5 hours, you know, and then I get an 11 hour, right? So I'm trying to figure out how this math works to have it in Indiana at the time that it needs to be dropped, right? So Junior walked me through this whole process, and it was really good. And Obi-Wan, you know, he was helping me. We kind of worked through it, and he already knew, he spent a lot of time with me, right? So he already knew I was going to overthink the moment because, well, I'm a thinker, so you'll have that. But nonetheless, the trick was run hard with that 10, and get like 530 miles, right? That was the goal, 530. Anyway, I think I had to run through the Blue Ridge Parkway. Let me tell you, running through Blue Ridge hard, that's not exactly a cakewalk. There's a lot of bends, turns, hills. That was a working drive, let me tell you. But I made it all the way to like eastern Ohio, right? Put me within like 280 miles. That's striking range, right? And then I got 3 back that night, right? Which didn't mean anything. I couldn't do nothing with 3 hours. So I stayed at a rest area, right? I landed at the rest area probably like 10:30 at night. I had 29 minutes left on my clock, right? And so then at midnight I got 3 back. Like, so what? That ain't gonna do no good. And then so I had to wait until like 10 o'clock at night, right? And then I could start running if that's what I needed to do. But turns out that based on my calculations, I could fire up at midnight because I had to drop it at 0800 in the morning, and at 280 miles, that was about a 6 hour. I had a fuel stop because I had to fuel up the reefer, so I did that, and I got there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I busted out a shower to boot. That was needed, and it felt good trying to wake up. But I was stuck at this rest area for, I think my Qualcomm said something like 22 hours, at a rest area. So you want to be a trucker. That's what Obi-Wan Kenobi would say to me. So you want to be a trucker. So anyway, that's trucking. These are some of the things you're just going to have to suck up, buttercup. Take the good, take the bad, take them both, and there you got the facts of life. Most of you probably ain't old enough to remember. Anyway. So I got up at midnight. I stayed up all night long. I landed there at 10:30. I stayed up until like 5 o'clock in the morning, as late as I possibly could. And I'm just in my truck. I'm like, what am I going to do? I was watching some TV. The World Pool Masters was on, so I was watching that, and that kept me, occupied. I made some popcorn. I had some lemonade. Made some chicken salad. Yeah, I was living pretty good. Shoot. Ain't too shabby. Nothing I wasn't going to do at home. Right? So, I stayed up till 5, slept till like 2 p.m. Took another nap around 8. Woke up at 9:30, 9:45, and I took off at midnight. And I got my 11 hours, right? And plus the 3 from the night before that I didn't use. So I had this perfect, I had a full clock ready to go. Full 14 hours, 6:15 in the morning. They had me out of there by 9, I think it was. And then I went to, I started heading off to my Love's, waiting for my next pre-plan, and Qualcomm goes off, and the load is pick up in Indiana, in Lebanon, Indiana, and take it to Corinne, Utah. So that's what I'm doing right now. But mind you, I got up at 9:30 yesterday, and I've been going since. It is now I don't know, 6 o'clock the next day. So that's why I look like this. But finally, hold on. Alright, so finally bit the bullet, because, you know, we have our Qualcomm and it does its thing, and then you got your phone, and that's Google. But let me assure you, you certainly don't want to be using Google, okay? I came across a bridge today that was 13.6, and a truck is 13.6 tall. And I'm like, I don't know what happens when 13.6 meets 13.6. You know, and it was kind of one of those, it kind of dipped down and then came up. And, well, where I used to live, I used to watch trucks try and go under one of them. Yeah, that wasn't pretty. And so I wasn't going to be that guy. I stopped it dead right there. I saw an out. I stopped. I corrected everything right then and there. I wasn't going to be that one. No. Anyway, so that brings me to, finally had to bite the bullet. I got me the Garmin Diesel OTR 800. That's the one I got. Ta-da! Garmin Diesel OTR 800. I don't know if you guys can read any of that. I don't know if it's just a tool, you know. Even this isn't 100% guaranteed, you know. Trucking's a lot of work, gang. Trucking takes a lot of knowledge. Even when you get your CDL and whatnots and what have yous, and you get out here and you start running and things, there's a whole nother educational process coming your way, you know. I had a buddy of mine tell me once, he's like, and he's been in trucking for like 30 years off and on or whatever. He's a great dude, Big Al. Wicked great dude. I've known him for years. He worked at the limo company. He was a dispatcher at the limo company for a while. We always had it off real good. Been friends with him ever since. But he's been in trucking on and off all his life for the most part. And he said something really wise to me, as he normally does, believe it or not. He says, because I told him, I said, you know, I'm looking forward to getting out there on my own, but, you know, there's a lot of unknowns. He's like, look, you got nothing to be nervous about. You got nothing to worry about. Okay? I'll tell you when you get nervous and you start to worry. He said, when you start thinking you know what you're doing, when you start taking things for granted, when you start thinking that you've got this mastered, that's when you better be nervous, and that's when you better start worrying. And so, as long as I keep thinking I still got lots to learn, then let's rock, you know. I don't know about you all, but I really enjoy meeting expectations or exceeding expectations. So this has been kind of, this has been that, you know. This has been that. So I'm excited. You know, I'm having fun. Blue Ridge Expressway or Parkway, that is so beautiful. Like, I've traveled up and down this country from coast to coast, both personally and in T.N.T., and I'd never been on the Blue Ridge Expressway until the other day. Now, I'm not saying that I really got a chance to gander, because I didn't, but it was beautiful nonetheless, even from a peripheral standpoint. So, anyway, that's my story. By the way, just a little update with Johnny B. Good from PSD. He went lease, and he's doing great, so I'm real happy for him. You know, he became a pretty good friend, and you know, I'm glad he's out there rocking like docking. So, Johnny, if you're listening, right on. Anywho, I'm gonna get to assembling this new. I can tell you this thing is like made of steel. You know, this thing is heavy duty. This Bracketron thing, like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but it is. It's all metal, like McFly. Anyway, I'm gonna get to messing with this, because I'll tell you what, I don't have all night. All right, I gotta get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, I want to show you the truck and everything, but geez, inside I've, you know, already been wrecked it, you know, and in interior, you know, but it's fully supply a microwave, but you know, that's good. Anyway, you all be good out there. All right, be nice to each other, play nice.